Hello and welcome back to module number 9. Visualization in R is the subject of this module, and we will see how can we do that. I will also post the module that RStudio published about R and how to produce visualization, so it will give you more structure of how to do that. I will talk about more general subject, basic graphics without any packages, package that is been in R for a long time called Lattice. And of course, I will talk about ggplot2 that is part of what makes R so powerful tool in today's environment. Just a little note about what's going to happen. Next week, I'm going to publish or release module number 10, which is about how to produce a package in R. So you will have the spring break to start working and start thinking about how to develop your final project in the class about package. I will be every single day in spring break in my office. So if you want to stop or you want to talk to me via Skype, you are most welcome to do that. I hope it will give you some ideas about what is it entail and how to apply that. And again, I hope you will take advantage of your time off in order for you to apply and develop it. So let's start with basic. The idea of the basic is that you will do anything that you apply or consider in order for you to generate a plot. And there is a structure like functions in R. There's a functions that generate the plot in R. And there are the P, the points, the L, the align, and so on, the H for histogram, and so on and so on. So those are the basic functions that we will take use in order for us to generate the visualization. So again, this is the idea behind it. The points, like I don't know if you are familiar with Adobe Illustrator or Adobe Photoshop, we have points types, and we have 25 points in R that allowed us to add it to the visualization. So the idea here is that we use terminology or basic functions that allowed us to generate the visualization. Example, for function BG stands for background, and that allowed us to fill your visualization with different backgrounds. So again, the points, this is the points, what does it entail and how to apply to it. There is a scale, how to apply to that. There's also line types, and again, there is a function, call it, and we have 6 types of line and how to apply to it. Weights and size, again, this is part of what it consists of, and there's a function of it, which is a character extensions, and it allowed us to apply to it in order for us to do that. Colors, we have 1 to 8, which is the basic colors without any additional. And however, we have 657 names colors that you can apply to the scale. And when you do colors as a function, he will list all the 657 colors. We have also color palettes. And as we have in Excel, we have also palettes in R. The rainbow palettes is quite often used. The heat palettes also very usable, and all of those things. I want you to be open and try to it yourself, because this is an online class. I will not sit and wait for you to produce all of it, but I want you to be aware and make sure that if you will need it, you have the option to apply to it. Again, the rainbow, the heat, the gray, all of that part of the terminology when we are using it. When we are building a plot, example with cars, and we have a container and a plot, We can start using colors, and we can use dots in order for us to make the visualization more transparent and more communicative. This is part of what I am trying to study and trying to promote. And again, this is how we apply that. Is that enough? No, it's not. And again, the issue is we like to make it more transparent. We like to communicate via visual analytics. And the idea here is that R can provide us the tools and the mechanism in order for us to be successful with it. The first package that was actually introduced in 1993 was the idea of a lattice package. And it usually applied to a lattice function that does not actually print or plot anything. They only create a class called trails, so they can be printed. So the whole idea of the package, or the idea of this package, is that you are not creating a function, you're creating an object, that this object can be embedded into the plot in order for you to do that. One of the things about the lattice graphic is that it's very customized. So you can have no effect or add on effects in order for you to generate something more meaningful. And again, the issue is that, like words, when you have simple words, it doesn't describe anything. You like to add things. So you can add on to the package in order for you to make it more accessible or more knowledgeable. And so, first of all, you need to install the lattice package. You need to run, and you have some structure that is part of the terminology that we use in order for you to do that. So the database is called Quakes, and it is part of the package. And the location is the idea of what do you want to apply to the XP plot in order for you to do that, and this is the result of it. If we will look at that as we do in my visual analytic class, that will be, yes, it's interesting, but it's not appealing. There is no graphical principles that can be applied to it, and this is something that is missing. This is something that, yes, it is portray the data, but it doesn't give us more than that. So the issue is that you can follow the commands, the same thing, and you can plot it. The idea here is that you're going to able to apply statistical formula. So the lattice package allowed us to apply a formula in order for us to generate better visualization to our own customized data set. And this data set is usually quite straightforward, and allowed us to do that with 3 variables, the z, the x, and the y, and we can manipulate that based on it. So example of histogram using this type of visualization, and again, this is quite good, quite clear, and with regard to what it applied to. Last example is the use of 3-dimensional we used to call it wireframe, and in this case we are applying, and we are also applying light source into it in order for us to generate something like that. So we have 3 variables we can apply to it and develop something like that. Okay, so this is a package that was created back in the 80s, but it's not good enough. So the idea here is that one of the principal creator of R is Handley Wickerman, and he generated the idea that the ggplot2 is based on a grammar of graphics, and it is led by one of the greatest scholar in the idea of statistics and visualization, Lee Wilkinson. And so the idea of the package, again, this is the website. Nowadays, he add to the ggplot2, he had tiny another package in order for it to run better. So this is not only the ggplot2 that you are part of the R Studio, but there's a tiny package that also run in the background to make the ggplot2 run faster and better. He also created the book that we are going to start reading from next week. It is about the R package, and I gave you a link to it. And one of the things that I'm consistently reminding you with regard to GitHub, see, even him has a GitHub that he updates his work and able to do that. So what is the structure of ggplot2 with reference to the grammar of visualization? So he divided the idea of the ggplot2 to 5 category: aesthetics, geometrics, statistics, scale, and other elements of the package that will give us more coordinated system, fencing, position adjustment, data, and other things. All of those elements generate a much more coherent, in my view and many other people's view, a more coherent visualization that allowed us to do that. The aesthetics is the idea of providing or conveying information through the aspect, whereas the X position is, where the Y position, where the size of the element, the shape of the elements, and the color of elements, and we will define them. The geometrics is about the shape, about the points, the line segments, the bar, and the text. The scale is the idea of control of the mapping, and it is the idea what it is filled with colors. In order for us to do that, the functions in our ggplot2 with the scale is GMO point, and you will see it in action. So those are the part of the geometrics, the points, the lines, the bars, and the text. An example. Again, the P is the name of our application. The ggplot is the background. We are using mtcars, which I saw already most of you use in your first examples. And the aesthetics and the general point is where we are defining specifically how to apply that. We can add another dimension to it, which is the vine line. In this case is a straight line, but again, this is something that does not exist in any other application or statistical application that out there. So again, mapping of the layer, coding of the layer, the code behind that. I'm going to give you the PowerPoint so you can go over it yourself and understand what does it entail. One of the things that the ggplot2 often use is a data frame. And so the idea is that you will break your data frame, be able to visualize it in order for you to apply. So what makes the ggplot2 so unique? It is layer by layer. As you saw, we have the aesthetic aspect, we have the geometrics aspect, we have the functions layer. All of that give us layers that we can build on like a real painter. We have the data layer, we have the aesthetic layers. All of that is part of what we do. I highly recommend you visit the ggplot2. It's not the ggplot2 anymore. It has a new title that I forgot to add it to it. I will, in your PowerPoint that you will download, you will have the new shape, the new address. Next, I'm going to use a simple example from my own textbook. I don't expect you to review it, but again, I use the Reshape tool, and in order for me to do that, I use the library of ggplot2. I made a crime, which is a data frame, which consists of state and US arrest, and by doing that, I was able to do murder, arrest, urban, and rape, and show you what are the states that there's more insult, more murders, rape, and as you can see, this is something that is very powerful. So again, this is the introduction to ggplot2. I probably will need to talk about Wilkinson in contribution to the whole frame of graphics in R, but Wilkinson did the hard work and built the package. That's why he is considered to be the Michelangelo of RStudio, and he is one of the creator of the RStudio. And so we saw in this presentation, we saw three types of graphics: basic, letters, and the ggplot2. I will give you an assignment. You choose what type of visualization you want to do and try to apply to it. I hope you enjoy it. Next week, just wait, I will provide you the new addition to building a package and how is it done. And again, I will be in my office everywhere, every day on the week doing a spring break. So please come, try to take advantage and try to come up with questions that you might be concerned. Until next time, enjoy.